at the home of the Mavericks, a fortress of basketball known as the American Airlines Center, here in Dallas, Texas. Thank you, folks, for joining us on this Saturday night edition of 2K Sports and the NBA. So here's Miami's starting group. Chalmers and Wade are the 1 and the 2. LeBron and Bosh are the 3 and the 4. And it's Anthony in at the 5 down low. On for Dallas. Dirk Nowitzki and Tyson Chandler in the middle. Rudy Fernandez out there with Jason Kidd. And it's Butler in at the small forward. Now here's Kidd over Anthony. It's rebounded by Bosh.
And the knock on Chris Bosh is that he's not a powerful low-post player. He's really a finesse big, not so much a bruiser. But very skilled and quick, and he can face up and knock down a jump shot.
Pretty tough shot to take there. Well, you got to like his confidence, though, even though the quality was a little bit to be desired.
Back to Nowitzki. For 3, that's good. Nowitzki's got the first bucket of the night, a three-pointer for the Mavs.
You know, you talk about Bosh and how he's been knocked in terms of who he is and what he does. His slim build is part of that. I think that really made Miami's need for a quality center even more glaring, the fact that he's not really a power player. Every team needs some length and muscle inside to be at its best.
And now Doris Burke has an update from the sidelines.
Well, guys, I was able to talk with Rick Carlisle for just a moment. He told me that to him, the most impressive thing about his team has been their mistake-free play offensively, saying, we're not doing a lot wrong when we've got the ball in our hands, and we need to keep that frame of mind going. Guys?
Thank you, Doris. Do you guys think their shooting will play as important a role as the coach made it sound?
Well, the object of the game is to put the ball in the basket, so you want your shots to fall, but I don't know if you can necessarily plan on that being the case.
Well, you'd like to plan on making every shot. It just doesn't happen that way. So the key to focus on is shot selection. Get good shots, and hopefully you'll have a good groove going tonight.
Here's Nowitzki, and a great assist by Kidd as that one goes in. Nowitzki's got 5. And Chalmers kicks to Anthony. And here comes the break. Chalmers knocks it loose. From deep, LeBron.
My goodness.
Beats the bucket.
Wow.
And still a quarter comes to a close. Mavericks ahead, up 2.
And I thought the defense was key here for this club. They really tightened up and made it difficult on their opponent.
How about the help on the drives and rotations? I mean, they've really been in sync as a unit.
And we'll be back in just a moment. Haywood and Dirk make up the front court. Kidd and Terry on. They're manning the backcourt. And it's Butler in at the 3. That's the lineup in the game for Dallas.
You knew the big 3 when they came together, guys, that they would be good. But they did a pretty decent job, I thought, of finding complementary players to fill out the roster after a big chunk of the salaries went to the big 3.
LeBron kicks to Wade. 6 to shoot. It's a look. Haslam can't get it to go. Well, back to the Heat, and Clark, you're right. They searched out vets that knew how to fill a role and a need and then really build a team around the stars.
Well, and that's critical because anytime you have the core group together, it's about finding role players who are going to accept their responsibilities on the team and accept the fact that sometimes they're not going to see the minutes that they would otherwise like. But they handled it well. They got a good roster around their stars, and it paid off.
Wade outside. And they'll turn it over. Could not get off a shot. 24-second violation. And the Mavericks with some changes. Tyson Chandler is checked in for Haywood. Marion comes in for Caron Butler. And Barea subbed in for Jason Kidd. The Heat also changing it up. Joel Anthony's checked in for Bosh. Miller comes in for Dwayne Wade. And it's Chalmers in for Eddie House. Chandler the pass to Marion. From the baseline. The Heat trail by 7.
Slowing it down here, smart. Play for the last shot of the quarter.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, dribble it down to 6 seconds or so and then go. That way you got a chance for a second shot if you miss.
The and one is good, so a 3-point play that time. Here is Barea. Chalmers is tagged with the reach. That is his first foul of the game. Here is Berea. Chandler with the screen on Chalmers. Berea. And he lays it up and in. Berea's got his first basket.
Boy, that was a nice little finger roll to finish the play. Splendid finish.
So we've reached the end of the first half of play.
Check out the game for kids.
It's Saturday night. We're feeling all right.
We have a close ball game on our hands as we get set for the second half of basketball. Here's LeBron. And now let's check out the lineups courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up and ready to go for the second half of basketball. On the floor for Miami, LeBron and Bosh are the 3 and the 4. Chalmers and Wade are the 1 and the 2. And it's Anthony in at the 5.
You know, guys, Dallas kind of gets slept on in terms of playoff action because they've been so disappointing in recent years, but they worked hard all season, and the hard work has its reward.
Great perspective. Yes, and the foul. It's on Chris Bosh.
Now they'll take as many of those high percentage shots as they can get, guys.
Clark, back to Dallas. They weren't really talked about as a contender, and some even had them losing to Portland in the first round. Then, Steve, that Los Angeles upset, that sweep got everybody's attention.
Sure did. They took the first 2 games in L.A., then they blew out the Lakers in Game 4 to finish off the sweep. Just an incredible series, and I think that was the series that was the springboard for Dallas into the finals and past the Miami Heat. When they beat the Lakers, Dallas knew they could win the whole thing.
And Doris Burke has something for us. Hey, Doris.
Well, Kevin, the Big Three all uniting in Miami was seen as a bit of a triumph from the players' point of view. In a sense, the players got a chance to pick where they wanted to play as opposed to the owners having control of where the players played. In a sense, wrestling away control from the owners. Whether or not that trend continues in the NBA, we'll see. Guys?
Thank you, Doris. What those 3 did in Miami in getting there really did shake things up.
You know, so much of where you play is really out of your hands as an NBA player, so it's tough to find free agency and to get to that point where you've got guys who you want to play with who are also free agents and a team with that much cap room. So this was a rare opportunity for these 3 players, and they joined together. And he has such a calm demeanor, but he locks in, takes his time, and finishes.
That free throw good from Wade. Here's Terry, looking for his first bucket of the game. And Nowitzki backs in. Fade away, and another basket for Dallas.
You know, a recipe for disaster, Kevin, is letting him get that free near the basket.
James. That misses, would have kind of had it gone in. And that does it for the third quarter. Both teams clicking offensively as we approach the... As the fourth quarter gets rolling here, let's check out our Sprite Spark of the Game, presented by Sprite. Hey, Doris.
Thank you, Kevin. It's the Mavericks with the spark of the game, with that push we saw. They came out of the gates with an airtight defense, and that is what pushed them out in front. If they can end the game how they started, they'll come away with the win, Kevin.
Great stuff as always, Doris. Thank you. Clark, that was the game's critical point.
Yeah, I agree with you there. I really think it was. I mean, it really tipped things in their favor. No doubt about it.
And that's going to happen to you when you keep piling up those points and you get on a run like that.
So with Nowitzki sitting on the bench, here's who Rick Carlisle's going with. They've got Terry. Haywood is out there with Chandler. Then there's Marion, and it's Berea in at the point guard.
They continue to pull down misses, and that's how they're maintaining this lead.
Yeah, well, one and done is the recipe for continuing to hold on to a lead. You don't want to let the other team back in it by giving them extra possession.
Now, here's Chalmers. Shot off the screen. That is good.
Well, after a horrible half of shooting, they bounced back here in the second half and picked up their shooting percentage quite nicely. And
Terry up top, covered by Miller. And they're going to count the bucket and send him to the line. It could be a three-point play. And a new group in for the Heat.
You know, Terry turning in another good year for the Mavs last season, Kevin. Contributed about 16 points a game and shot it quite well from deep, all off the bench.
Timeout called the Heat. They're losing by 13. 55 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
Thanks, guys. I got a chance to hear what Eric Spoelstra was saying to his team. He pumped his team up, trying to say, it's moments like these that you play the game for. Leave everything on the court and play like you know how. Guys, back to you.
And as always, Doris, thank you. Tyson Chandler is checked in for Dallas. The Heat also changing it up. Haslam comes in for Eric Dampier. And it's Chalmers in for Eddie House. There's 45 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Kept alive. Here's Chandler, and he bangs it home with one hand.
Well, they've looked good here tonight, and now they are coasting to the finish line.
Steve, just a matter of time right now.
Scooped up. Another shot, and Bosch with the layup.
Neither team having any trouble putting the ball in the basket.
Nope, nada. I mean, we haven't seen much defense either. I mean, both of these teams really locked into trying to outscore each other.
And he makes the first. And that's good as he hits both of his shots.
And that'll do it, Kevin. Those last free throws were the icing on the cake.
Well, not much they can do at this point.
Nope, playing for pride, trying to finish strong for pride's sake.
Here's Haslam. And it's off from three-point range. Guys, they've really built a nice lead here.
And I'll tell you what, I don't see any sign of them slowing down.
So we see the Mavericks taking the win here. You know, Clark, every team has a bad night, and these guys